Weirdly, the train in this video seems to be coming from DC, which doesn't make sense if Ben and Adam just got off of it. Well, someone pointed out on the Discord that it's actually driving in reverse, which means that whoever edited this decided to play the video in reverse. And again, I don't think they're doing this to try to mess with people who are trying to find these locations. I think they just did it to have the movement of the train match that of the clips that came before and after. Get ready for day 4 now. And I should say there's every possibility that this clip was recorded by Sam and Michelle, because Denver lies nicely on their road to Key West from Salt Lake City, Utah. And I can't even tell if this plane is taking off or landing. Don't know how. If I'm to believe my own theory, they arrive at the airport, so maybe they flew in from Miami or somewhere else. I don't know. I just don't know. But I can't wait to see what happens. We cannot, however, just read the sign on the station to figure out which station it is. It seems to be weirdly blurred. I'm thinking maybe the editor actually decided to blur this one because it was too much of a spoiler. It was actually one of the first places I looked at because it's on the Capital Limited line, but I didn't recognize it at first and ended up getting completely sidetracked for a while. And these last couple ones, I feel like I should add another spoiler warning on these. Hello everybody, I'm back talking about Jet Lag the game again. The first episode of the series is going to release on YouTube a couple hours after I record this, and of course it already released a week ago on Nebula. So that means I've been able to see it for a whole week now, and let's just say I wasn't expecting what was in it, because at the end of the first episode there's another teaser. Now, I'm crossing my fingers that there's something similar to this in the YouTube upload, because I don't want to spoil stuff that's exclusive to Nebula. But of course, after that last video I did where I thoroughly analyzed the trailer for Season 8, you know I have to dive into some of the new clips we see in this teaser. So, 2 days ago on Monday the 18th, I sat down and tried to find any and every location in this teaser that I could possibly locate. Turns out, again, it was quite a lot of them. There were still a handful of locations that I weren't able to find though, until something magical happened. Last week I joined the Jet Lag Discord server. It's basically a forum like Reddit or any other where people meet and discuss Jet Lag the game specifically. And on there, I was told to post my video in a certain thread called Season 8 Speculation. And just over the last day and a half, that thread has been popping off and led to some major developments that I want to share with you. I'm recording this before the next episode, episode 2, comes out on Nebula, because I want to get these predictions in before they potentially invalidated or at least made obsolete by episode 2. So if you've watched episode 2 before you watch this, just know that this research and this recording was done before that came out. So just like last time, I have to say, if you've seen episode 1 of season 8 of Jet Lag, I'm not going to show you anything you haven't seen before, of course, but still, this video will include various levels of what I would call spoilers, because some of these latest discoveries actually start to allow us to try and figure out who wins the game. I will make sure to put disclaimers in this video before we get to such spoilers. But that brings me to another point. The first video I did on this topic got more views than I'm used to on YouTube, and that's even before the season starts actually going live on the website. You can tell them this exists, but please, oh please, do not go out there and ruin people's day by telling them stuff they do not want to know. And of course, the sun is going down in the west like it would when Sam and Michelle arrive in Anchorage. But the trees line up exactly, there's no doubt, I'm confident he's correct. So what do we got here? We've got a clip of Sam and Michelle driving on the interstate between Birmingham, Alabama and Atlanta, Georgia, and this seems to make it likely that they are specifically going to Atlanta to get on that Delta plane to Key West. Which one? I think the second one, the one that departs from Atlanta at 3:30. There's just no way they're getting from around Dallas, Texas to Atlanta, Georgia in the, 3 hours before the rest period ends and the first plane leaves at 9 a.m.? Because just the drive from Birmingham to Atlanta alone is over 2 hours. Well, if we assume Sam and Michelle are leaving Atlanta Airport at around 3:30 p.m., then we know they arrive in Key West around 5 p.m. And on this, day 5, the 27th of October 2023, on 5 p.m. in Key West, the sun would be at an elevation of around 10 degrees. And I know with every sentence here I'm getting further and further into the territory of conjecture, but an elevation of about 10 degrees does seem to correspond with... Oh, Björn has awoken. Say hi, Björn. Say hi. Okay, as I was saying, the sun being at an elevation of about 10 degrees does seem to correspond pretty well to some of the clips that we're shown of a car arriving at the southernmost point. And importantly, as I mentioned in my last video, it does not seem to correspond with some of the other footage, and those other clips are just a good bit higher than 10 degrees, which means Ben and Adam got there first? I don't know. I think that's going to be my theory. We do know Ben and Adam have a bit of trouble with the TSA at the Pittsburgh airport. I don't know, obviously have no idea which route they take, but I think unless there's some stock footage involved of a car driving from the airport and to Key West, this is a reasonable deduction. Not flawless, but I think I'm going to lock it in and say I'm putting my money on Ben and Adam getting there first. Okay, obviously this theory relies on a lot of assumptions. In fact, here's a whole list of them. For one, this whole thing hinges on my theory from last time being true that the clips that we see from Key West are taken at different times in the day and therefore by different teams. If that's not true, like if some of it's stock footage or if some of it's recorded by different lens on the iPhone they used to record, the whole thing falls apart. So this is definitely not definitive, it's very much debatable, and I can't wait to see what actually happens. As I'm recording this, there's only like a handful of clips from the trailer in episode 1 that we don't know the locations of. That's pretty crazy because there are a lot of clips in those videos. Anyways, we know this is Sam and Michelle's plane arriving in Anchorage because the plane wing only matches their plane, not the one Ben and Adam take on the day afterwards. This split-second clip from 21 minutes 47 seconds into episode 1 is probably also from the same plane. The sunrise and the thick cloud cover definitely seems to match. Then, after having looked at the tickets in the flop for the day, we see Adam frantically running through the SeaTac airport looking for alcohol, probably for Ben as his tradition. This is at 21 minutes 25 seconds in episode 1. On the morning of day 4, they're headed in the direction of Denver, Colorado, but weirdly they've chosen a route which is very obviously not the fastest way there. Either they've been sidetracked by a challenge, or they're going to the smaller regional airport in Grand Junction. Maybe they've acquired a long flight ticket, but it has to be a regional flight. Finally, one thought. Would the editor for the teaser and the trailer really put clips of the winning team arriving in Key West in the trailer and teaser? I think, yeah. I will also note, whoever edits the trailer has so far exclusively used clips that do also show up in the episodes, at least the 2 episodes I've seen so far. They could be picking their clips from the rough cuts of the episodes, although I don't think the rough cut of the finale would have been done by the time they finished the trailer. For what it's worth, it's probably likely that the final episode of the season includes next to no footage of the losers arriving in Key West. That is, after all, what we saw in the New Zealand race. Taking all this into account, I think the odds are good that Sam and Michelle win. They get to Key West at 5 p.m. We know that Ben and Adam have to spend some extra time in Pennsylvania in the morning, whereas Sam and Michelle potentially get out of Dallas first thing. And it seems intuitive to me that in the teaser and trailer, they'd show us the Key West footage recorded by the team who got there first. This theory is of course not foolproof. It hinges on plenty of assumptions, and since we don't know much about Ben and Adam's day 5, I really only have my own estimations to rely on in the end. Still, I like this theory a lot. Can't wait to see if it holds true. A route through one of these airports would cost the team that uses it 2 flight tickets, so we need to assess which team could do this the fastest. Now, as I've been recording this, you can tell it's been getting dark outside, and episode 2 has dropped on Nebula. I've been told that there's no teaser footage at the end of it, which is great, because I am not intending to make more of these videos. This is as much as I'm going to look into this. This season has proven to kind of be the optimal season to do this. Such a long distance covered and so little backtracking makes it very possible to actually put these places and clips in a somewhat accurate timeline. And because it's filmed in October, all these shorter days with dawns and sunsets visible on camera really makes it possible to start to figure out where days ended and started. And all this traveling by plane means there's a bunch of cool aerial shots to try and locate as well. Okay, so I'm going to start out by doing what I think I should have done at the end of the first video.